What's your favorite Star Wars movie? You know, it's like at this point it feels cliche to say it, but yes, for real, my favorite Star Wars movie is The Empire Strikes Back. I love it. What is it about The Empire Strikes Back that makes it so great? The full answer to that question would be a long book, so let me just share a couple quick thoughts. My favorite movies establish a world that is totally unlike anything I have or will ever experience, yet still feels real and living, and then they succeed at transporting my mind into that world. Masterpieces like Empire seem to achieve this effect effortlessly. You start watching it, and before you realize, there you are, existing in the movie. It's crazy. Of course, there's nothing effortless about creating a masterpiece. It's the quality of the artistry in Empire that is irresistible. Every single element in that movie has been sculpted by a master. A great work of art feels like it existed before its creation. The artist uncovers it like an archaeologist. The more skilled the artist, the cleaner, the more faithful the final presentation. The best art transcends the technical process of its creation, transcends its creator. That's what Empire feels like to me. It's an imaginary history that becomes more and more real the further we move away in time from its creation. The Empire Strikes Back is a beautiful work of art, and I love it. What's this? The Critical Dunker. Damn, it's got a lot of views. Let me check this out.
Oh my god, it's time for another episode of
The Critical Dunker!
And I'm here today, sadly, to dunk on the new Star Wars movie. Absolutely one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Did you like Star Wars? I liked Star Wars. I think everyone liked the first Star Wars movie. So naturally, I was excited when I heard they were making a part 2. Oh, that's gonna be good.
Wrong!
I mean, first of all, The Empire Strikes Back. Wasn't the Empire defeated in the first one? Is it still around? I mean, this is never explained. You see, the problem with this movie is that George Lucas, creator of the first one, he cashed out and turned everything over to these two twats, Irvin Kershner and Lawrence Kasdan, who have apparently decided to systematically undermine and destroy everything that made Star Wars great. Good job, guys! Woo! The problems with this movie, I mean, they're apparent from the very first scene. You start off on this ice planet. I guess that makes sense. I mean, the last one started on a desert planet, so you gotta do the opposite of desert, which is ice, apparently. And the first thing that happens is that Luke Skywalker gets bum-rushed by this big furry thing, and he is left for dead by his own men, by the other rebels. Luke Skywalker, the most important hero, the hero of the whole thing, they just leave him to die. They could go out and look for him, but they're like, nope, the vehicles will ice up, we gotta close the shields. Wait a minute, you have vehicles? You've got these fighter craft. Don't these fighter craft have, I don't know, heaters on them?
Your fighter craft can operate in the cold vacuum of space so they can handle a little bit of winter weather. Go out and save Luke, the guy who blew up the bloody Death Star, you twats!
So his mate Han Solo has to go out and save him by stuffing him into the guts of this big beast. Please, that would freeze in under 15 minutes. This movie expects us to believe that a frozen beast corpse is warmer than, you know, a vehicle that runs on fuel and has heaters. My God, the stupidity of it! And the Empire, the bad guys, they're no better. I mean, look at look at the vehicles they use to go attack the rebels. They're a bit like these big tanks, but they have legs? Yes, they have these big, awkward, stompy legs that can be defeated by tripping them up with a tow cable. Because if you take a giant 10-ton vehicle and decide that precarious dog legs are the best method of locomotion, that results in your vehicle not only being very high up in the air where it's an easy target, but it also makes you very prone to just toppling over, which is exactly what happens. I mean, ask yourself, have you ever seen any military in the world ever use a vehicle like this? No, because it's idiotic, just like this movie. Any real vehicle that we actually use in warfare, it either has wheels or treads to go along the ground sensibly, or it has wings and rocket engines to fly up in the air, because that's what makes sense. That's what actually works. There's no vehicles like this because it's logically
Wrong!
I mean, we're supposed to believe that these people took over the whole galaxy when their military hardware was apparently designed by a 5-year-old.
Make it walk on big legs like an elephant, Daddy. Make it walk like an elephant, yeah?
Alright, moving right along then.
Have you heard about Princess Leia? Remember, in the first movie, she was okay. She was pretty, she wore a dress, she was nice. She was there to motivate the male heroes into succeeding, which is what female characters are supposed to do in this type of movie. But when they bring her back here, she's horrid. She is dressed as unsexily as possible, and suddenly she's a general? General Leia? I mean, what? She's supposed to be a princess! Princess Leia, feminine, beautiful. But nope, this is woke Hollywood, so she's a general now with absolutely no training. You can just go from being a princess to being a military commander, makes sense. In real life, becoming a general takes between 20 and 30 years. Do you think she did that? Do you think she rose through the ranks? And you're a dirty sexist if you don't like it. Rah rah, girl power, girls can do anything. I mean, the stupidity in this movie is just endless. There's a part where Han Solo says, "I'll see you in hell," because these lazy, stupid screenwriters somehow forgot that they're in a galaxy far, far away and a long time ago, and they just decided to have Han Solo use a Judeo-Christian term that shouldn't exist yet for millions of years. My God. So then the plot kicks in. Obi-Wan appears in a snowstorm and he tells Luke about another Jedi Master named Yoda. Wait a minute, there's another old Jedi Master out there? Why didn't he mention this in the first movie? My God, that's a plot hole. You think he would have said, like, "Hey, Luke, oi, if I die breaking into the Death Star, by the way, there's this other Jedi out there who can train you." Very convenient that he forgot about that, right? "Oh, don't worry, I'll just come back as a ghost and tell him, I'm pretty sure I can do that."
Obvious retcon.
But hey, I mean, this is exciting. After hearing all about the Jedi in the first movie, we finally get to meet the great Jedi Master Yoda. This is exciting. This is going to be really great. But I guess Irving Kershner, twat that he is, instead of actually giving us that, he wanted to subvert our expectations because he's an artiste. Yeah, sorry kids, if you actually wanted to see an actual Jedi warrior like they promised, you know what you get? And I'm not making this up. When you finally see the great Jedi Master Yoda, he's a little green frog muppet who moves on sticks with someone's hand up his ass instead.
Subverted your expectations, I have.
I mean, you do know that we came to this theater to see a Star Wars movie, right? If I wanted to see some puppet show, I could have stayed home and watched fucking Sesame Street.
R2, let him have it. R2!
What are you doing, movie? Oh my God, I'm getting a headache here. Let's get back to the Empire. The Empire in this movie is just a joke. Everyone in this organization is so incompetent that Darth Vader has to choke them out and kill them for making the mistakes that they seem to make quite often. There's this part where the good guys, they're in the ship, the Millennium Falcon, and they escape certain doom by latching onto the side of one of the big ships. And the bad guys they're just left clueless. They're like,
"Oh, well they didn't fly away, but they're not here anymore. Where the heck are they? Gee, sir, it must have been a ghost ship. They've simply disappeared."
Yeah, that's how inept they are. The good guy's plan actually works. I mean, it's foolproof, unless one of the thousands of people on this gigantic ship actually decides to, look out a bloody window. Like, "Oi, Captain, I'm looking out the porthole here, and that ship you're looking for is on the side of the bloody ship." I can't stress this enough. The good guys' plan depends on them, on the bad guys not ever looking out the window. So okay, this movie's a piece of shit, but there is this one part I like. Luke goes to the swamp planet where the green frogman is, and he has to fight this this phantom vision of the bad guy. It's like Darth Vader, but he's not really there. And after he beats Darth Vader, you see underneath the mask, and you think, "Oh shit, man, we're finally gonna see what Darth Vader's face looks like. Like, this could be big." And what you see, what's underneath the mask? It's Luke's own face. Now, that kind of made me think back to the previous movie when Luke talked about the Clone Wars. It seems pretty obvious that what they're saying here is that Luke Skywalker is actually a clone of Darth Vader. And I mean, who knows? Maybe Darth Vader is a clone of the Emperor? Maybe they're all clones of each other? Or maybe the Emperor is this guy who just like clones himself all over? I mean, that's actually kind of cool. That's a good twist. But knowing these assholes, they're probably just going to forget about that plotline by the third movie. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, did I mention there's a part where the good guys get eaten by a space worm, this giant worm in space who lives on a bloody asteroid. You know, out in space where there's no air, no water, no food, no biological life of any kind. Nothing around for light years, but there's this giant worm just chilling on an asteroid. Basic biology has no place in this galaxy. Oh my god, I haven't even gotten to the worst parts. I have not even gotten there. By the end of the movie, they end up in Cloud Cuckoo Land, where they meet Han's old friend Lando, also not mentioned in the first movie for some reason. And you know what they did? They went ahead and made him a black guy, because you gotta fill that social justice quota somehow, am I right? I did some research on why they cast this guy to play Lando, because it's a part that was clearly written for a white man. And it turns out, George Lucas's twat buddy John Landis, when he saw the first Star Wars movie, he asked, "Are there no black people in space, George?" And that stupid load, what's his name, Carl Sagan, he did the same thing.
Creatures as similar to us as the dominant ones in Star Wars, and there's a whole bunch of other things. They're all white. The skin of all the humans in Star Wars, oddly enough, is sort of like this.
Right.
And
Yes, a bunch of liberal twats decided that this space fantasy movie was not realistic enough, so they just went ahead and bowed to that racial blackmail and put a black guy in the movie to satisfy, you know, the hippies and the liberals.
Sure, why not? I am the token black guy. I'm just supposed to smile, stay out of the conversation, and say things like, damn, shit, and that is whack.
All respect I have for these people, gone. Is there even any point in finishing this miserable, boring slog of a failure? You get to the end, and they decide to throw in this big, weird twist at the end, which is a huge, bloody retcon. Remember how Darth Vader killed Luke's father? Oh, surprise! Darth Vader is Luke's father!
Obvious retcon.
What? That makes no sense! I mean, for one thing, this means that Obi-Wan Kenobi, the character in the first movie that you're supposed to like, I guess he's a demented liar suddenly? Gone totally senile there in the desert? No, he frickin' lied to Luke the whole time, told him his dad was dead. What is up with this character assassination? Not only that, but apparently his son was out in the galaxy this whole time, and Darth Vader, with all the resources in the galaxy at his disposal, couldn't find him on the desert planet. Why not? Come on, Obi-Wan, you're sending Luke into battle with Darth Vader. You don't think he needs this bit of information to help him? Is there anything else you're not telling us, Obi-Wan? Are there any other family members running around out here? Is R2 his old vacuum cleaner? I mean, what's going on here? And then, oh my god, it gets so much worse. Because when he finds this out, when Luke Skywalker finds out that his dad is a bad guy, he tries to commit suicide. Hey kids, you came to see a Star Wars movie? You like Star Wars? You want to see your dashing boy hero Luke Skywalker fight some bad guys? Nope. You're gonna get this mopey, sissified sack of soy who finds out that his dad's a baddie, so he's gonna kill himself. Oi, Obi-Wan Kenobi! If you'd warned this guy that his father was Darth Vader, then he wouldn't be so psychologically damaged that he tries to kill himself! I mean, the Luke Skywalker that we knew from the first movie would never do this. He would get up and fight because that's what Luke Skywalker does. Kasdan, Kirshner, you spiteful, deranged cunts. You can't, it's like a reflex with these guys. They see a hero and they gotta tear him down, turn him into a suicidal wreck. It's disgusting. Then when this thing finally ends, they just kind of leave you hanging. Luke gets saved by Leia, Han gets frozen and carted off, no one cares. They set up this big bloody cliffhanger for the next one, if there even is going to be another one at this rate. The decline in box office from the first movie is catastrophic. And I just sat there thinking, that's it? There wasn't even a big battle at the end, like at the end of the first one, like nothing's really changed. What was the point of this movie? Unless the only point was to take everything that the audience loved about the first movie and turn it into a stinking pile of dog shit. The Empire Strikes Back is a complete cinematic failure. Objectively, one of the worst sequels, one of the worst films ever made. A complete and utter disgrace.
The final dunk.
George Lucas lied to our faces when he said he had this all planned out, because he outsourced this sequel to the worst bunch of twats imaginable. Oh, let's take a look at what else Irving Kershner has done after this movie. What else have you done, Kershner? Oh, look! He did a James Bond movie that was so bad that it's no longer considered canon, and the shitty, inferior RoboCop sequel. And that's it! After that, he just fucked off and died. This is a legacy unmarred by success. Irving Kershner is a one-man wrecking crew, the fucking Grim Reaper of cinematic franchises. It's a level of fail that should be theoretically impossible. He did it to James Bond, he did it to RoboCop, and he sure as hell did it to Star Wars. Lucas lied, and this movie died. I'm the Critical Dunker, and you've just been dunked.
Critical Dunker!
Wow. Oh my God. The Empire Strikes Back is a piece of shit! Can't believe I used to like that movie. How did I never realize this before? Like, what? This movie is fucking horrible. What the hell? I've watched this movie like 50 fucking times. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God.